and Jalens 2013 NBA Preview.
Welcome to Bill and Jalen's 2013 NBA Preview.
I'm on.
He's Jalen Rose. He played in the NBA. He wanted to call this the Don't Get Fired NBA Preview, but the thing is, this isn't live, it's taped. We're going to be doing 30 of these, 30 YouTube clips. We're going to be counting down the NBA from 30 to 1. These are my rankings. Jalen wasn't involved. I couldn't find Jalen.
Absolutely.
You were gone all summer. I didn't know where you were.
The best thing about these being your rankings,
Yeah.
send all of your hate tweets and all of the information on social media to Bill Simmons.
Jalen is absolved from all conflict. This is like your ideal situation. You hate conflict.
Yes, indeed.
So we're going to look at our number 30 team first. It's the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, they're trying something interesting, Jalen. There's a salary cap floor. Every NBA team is required to spend a certain amount of money with the collective bargaining agreement. Philly right now is under the floor.
Wow.
And if they don't spend enough, they actually have to give whatever the difference is, if it's like $3-4 million, their players get to split that money. So there's a chance Jason Richardson, who's already overpaid, I know he's a Michigan guy, he's already overpaid. He might be more overpaid.
Interesting.
I mean, he's from the state of Michigan, isn't he?
He is, correct. Good call.
Yeah.
Are you holding something against the Sixers because back in the day they had somebody on their team called the Boston Strangler?
Maybe a little. But they're going to be terrible. We got to talk about the fan base mindset. For every one of these clips, we're going to try to capture the mindset of the fan base. And we're going to do this using really bizarre YouTube clips. Here's the one for the Philadelphia 76ers. This is from Money Pit, very underrated Tom Hanks movie. Now, see Tom Hanks right now as he starts flipping out? This is every Sixer fan if they don't win the lottery.
I agree.
Because they're going to win like 6 games, 8 games, 10 games, whatever it is. If they get the 4th spot in the lottery, this is them with their wives right now.
And the reason why we say 4th spot is you want to get Wiggins. You want to get Randall from Kentucky.
Right.
You want to get Jabari Parker.
If he comes out.
If they all come out.
And then the Australian dude, Dante Exum, the Kentucky point guard, Harrison, Aaron Gordon.
He's a very good player.
There's a bunch of them. I mean, and there's probably 2 kids we don't even know about yet.
If you get in the top 6 next year, I think you're still going to get an opportunity at an all-star caliber player.
Yeah, but if you're Philly, though, you're doing this for the number 1 pick. You traded your all-star Drew Holiday. Actually, let's look at what they did this summer. Look at our cool little graphic. We know what you did last summer. Because we know, both of us know.
We know.
If you look at what they acquired, other than Brett Brown, who was Pop's assistant in San Antonio, it's pretty grisly.
It is. And also, let's frame it. So Drew Holiday was an all-star this past season.
Only 23 years old.
A terrific young guard. You lose him. Didn't get much from Andrew Bynum. That was a bad move.
Didn't get much from Andrew Bynum. He didn't play.
Literally.
He got nothing. You gave away 4 assets for him.
Absolutely.
That was a bad trade.
That was a terrible trade. If you're in Philadelphia, you're really rooting for the Eagles and Chip Kelly to bring some excitement.
Maybe some good Phillies moves.
Yes, indeed.
You got the Flyers.
Got the Flyers, but don't rely on the Sixers this year.
We didn't mention Nerlens Noel, who they got in that Drew Holiday trade. They also got New Orleans' first-round pick next year, which if things go wrong, that could be a top 7 pick too. So they have a chance to be twice in the top 7. I'm not crazy about Michael Carter-Williams, though. What do you think about him? Because they're actually going to be relying on him this year.
I'm always a fan of big point guards because I know that you can use them in multiple facets.
Because you were a big point guard. That's why. It's just selfishly. You like big point guards.
Exactly. So at 6'6", sometimes he's going to be able to switch and guard multiple positions on defense. You need that versatility. He's a very good ball handler. He's a very good passer. He has to improve his aggressiveness on offense and knock down more jump shots, especially from three-point range. Those are things that he has to improve. But I think he's going to be.
Are you talking about the D-League or the NBA?
I think he's going to be a productive NBA player, Michael Carter-Williams. I really do.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we might have to bet a dinner on this.
Yes, I do. And they're not going to obviously rush Nerlens Noel back.
The Cleveland Cavaliers select Anthony Bennett.
So they're going to tell him to take his time. By the time he comes back, they're going to make sure they're in full-blown lottery mode.
Have you heard that his knee surgery got botched? Because that was a big rumor that was going around.
I just heard recently that he felt like he was excited about the recovery. He felt like he was on track. And the team was like, whoa, Don't go too fast.
Settle down, New Orleans.
Settle down.
Yeah.
We got a plan here. We're number 30 for a reason.
Yeah, we were thinking February, March for you, New Orleans. And there are 2 more expiring contracts for them, Spencer Hawes and Kwame Brown. So how bad is this Philly team going to be? We're actually going to look at their rotation. We had this segment called The Rotation. Look at that cool graphic.
It is.
Now, those are their actual starters.
Thaddeus Young is a productive player.
Oh, congratulations.
He's going to be in a position now to actually be a starter. Normally, when they were more competitive, he was a substitute. Evan Turner probably didn't live up to top flight status of where he got picked.
Well, they're the 2 best players on the team. Is that a problem?
They're the 2 best player on the team. But Spencer Hawes is a productive player also.
Spencer Hawes is the best outside shooter on this team. Like, really, he is. I'm going to say that's a problem.
That is always a problem when your center is your best shooter.
So the bench, now we put Jason Richardson there. Important to mention, he's out for the season. He's on crutches. But I think on crutches, he's still their 10th best player. So we added him. Tony Roten is the guy from Memphis.
Yep.
Royce White, God only knows if you get even a game out of him.
Yeah.
We don't want to make Royce mad because he'll do like 45 tweets on his Twitter thing.
And, you know, it's very tough to be an NBA player if you have an issue with traveling.
Yeah, I agree. Because you have to travel.
Those things just go hand in hand.
Right. You have to be on airplanes
for a living.
42 times a year.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you don't like to fly, I'm going to say it's a problem because you can't play in the games. Let's look at Zach Lowe. Zach Lowe's going to have a sneaky big question.
Okay.
It's not his number 1 question. It's just a sneaky big question. He wants to know what will they get for Evan Turner and Thad Young. Thaddeus Young has 3 years left in his deal. It's about $8 million a year. Turner was a number 2 pick, so he's got a high salary. I think it would cost him like $7 million to bring him back. If you're blowing it up, do you just blow it up? Do you explode it? Do you implode it? Do you just get rid of those guys, try to be as bad as you possibly can, maybe get some future assets?
I keep both of those young players because they're not overpaid for what you're going to get for them. And I think as a good team continues to develop, these can actually be rotation guys to come in off the bench.
Well, let's look at Kirk Goldsberry's graphic. Kirk Goldsberry, who also works for Grantland, did a shot chart. Evan Turner. The darker colors means that he's way above average on that. Yellow's about even. And you look at the gray and the green, that means you're starting to get below average. Now look at the below, right around the basket there, all gray. Now if you can't finish in the NBA, Jalen, you're not going to score points.
We talk about this a lot. Players get to the hoop very often, but they don't have that soft touch. He hasn't really developed a runner or a floater.
The runner floater.
And
you always
also,
love the runner floater. Gotta have the runner floater.
Yes, indeed.
Did you have a runner floater?
I did. And the reason why I started having it is growing up in my neighborhood, the basketball hoop kept getting stolen, so we put a milk crate up on a telephone pole, cut a hole in the bottom. And therefore, when you're driving to the basket and there's a telephone pole there, you might want to pull up and shoot a runner or a floater, or you're going to get a lot of splinters.
They stole the basketball hoop? What would
They
they do
wouldn't
with it?
that in the city of Detroit on the west side. No.
What, they stole
They
the...
wouldn't take a basketball
But where
hoop.
did they take it?
They steal basketball hoops all of the time.
But for what reason? Where did they go?
They just
What
steal
are you doing,
them.
like putting it in your garage? Like, what do you do with a
I don't know
basketball
what they
hoop?
do with them, but they steal them.
I don't know what to make of Evan Turner, but I do think this is the best possible situation to find out if he's good or not, because he's going to play 40 minutes a game. He's going to have the ball in his hands. I actually think he's kind of a fantasy sleeper because Philly last couple years, they drew Holiday. He's doing this stuff. Like now Evan Turner's off the ball. I don't think he's that kind of player. I think he's one of those, I need the ball, let me figure it out. Now the problem is Michael Carter-Williams now playing off the ball and he can't shoot.
Right.
And I think he's going to struggle. All right, Jalen, now it's time for a segment that you didn't know was coming.
What's that?
It's called Clairvoyant Bill.
You got to explain what that means to some people.
Clairvoyant means I can see into the future. I'm clairvoyant with kind of mundane things.
I used to think watching the Jetsons was clairvoyant. Remember we used to think in 2000 we were going to have flying cars and stuff like that?
Sometimes I like to put my hat on. Clairvoyant Bill is about to make his prediction for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh my goodness.
They will not break the 73 loss record set by the 73 Philadelphia 76ers.
Pop champagne.
They will win at least 10 games. Pop champagne? Like bad champagne, though.
I agree, they will not break the worst record ever, win percentage or games lost in an NBA year. They'll be close.
Right.
They'll rival it. The conversation will be had. but they'll get double-digit wins.
I hope it was the 73 Sixers. I think that's the team that did it. But the Bobcats also went 8-42 during the lockout season. So that's actually the least amount of wins. So 2 embarrassing records at stake. I don't think the Sixers will get either of them.
I agree.
Okay.
Woo!
All right, now we're going to go to Jalen's favorite segment.
Yeah.
The champagning and campaigning in ... segment.
Got to give the people, yeah.
So Jacoby wouldn't let us do black guy power rankings. So instead we're doing champagning and campaigning, where you give us the scouting report on what it's like to champagne and campaign in a certain city. I wouldn't ask you to rate the cities because I know you're always worried about people making people upset. You're a man of the people.
And plus, when I go to certain cities, I want to get equal love.
Jalen loves all cities. So he's here to tell you what's great about champagning and campaigning Philadelphia. Let's hear it.
Absolutely. So my favorite moment as it relates to playing against Philadelphia was a time when our former coach of the Indiana Pacers, Larry Bird,
The basketball Jesus.
I'm sorry, let me back this up. So playing against Philly, my favorite memory, 40 points each. Myself and the Hall of Famer Reggie Miller.
Really?
Being coached by the legend, Larry Joe Bird, against our former coach, who basically ran our team in the ground the
Larry
year
Brown.
before.
You don't like Larry Brown?
Larry Brown.
Yeah.
We had basically the same team the year before and did not make the playoffs. The following year, we were playing against Michael and the Bulls in Game 7. So when we got a chance to play against Larry Brown, and it was really personal for me because he gave me 15 DNPs. And one of my favorite nights of my career. Shaq and Kobe didn't do it. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook hasn't done it. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James haven't done it.
Really? 40 each?
Shaq and Kobe haven't done it. 40 each in the same playoff game.
All right. Well, I have no idea what that has to do with champagning and campaigning in Philadelphia, but I'm guessing it means when you're there, you're so happy, you're thinking about the 40-point game.
No doubt about it. You know, I feel good about the Sixers, and that memory comes to mind.
All right. It's a very fancy way of saying they didn't crack his top 10 for champagning and campaigning. He won't say. So the Triangle blog on Grantland, which tends to celebrate some of the goofier things that happen in the NBA, we asked them to come up with one thing that they love about each of these 30 NBA teams. Now, here's what they said about the Philadelphia 76ers. It's the most brazen tanking attempt in years. I think I agree.
This is the most we're going to discuss this team.
All season. Yeah,
the
we're
next
probably never
9
going to talk
months.
about them. But here, watch this clip. We made this clip for them. Here's the Sixers highlight video. So that's a runaway tank, Jalen. It's got the Sixers logo on the back. Oh my God, look out. Look out, here comes the 2014
Dr.
Sixers.
J, Moses Malone, Andrew Toney, Bobby Jones are rolling over in their grave. Charles Barkley is very upset.
Will Chamberlain, he's rolling in
Allen
his grave.
Iverson.
He doesn't have a grave yet, but he's rolling anyway. It's terrible, Jalen. Look what they did to the Sixers. It's time. 24-second prediction clock. The Sixers, go. What's going to happen?
The Sixers will have the worst record in basketball.
Really? Worst record?
Yes,
The worst record?
the worst record in basketball.
I think they will have one of the 2 worst records. I am not willing to rule out the Phoenix Suns. I've seen Eric Bledsoe run a team. I'm not willing to rule them out. It's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be the Frazier Ali of tanking. We'll see what happens. 2, 1, boom. That's it for the Philadelphia 76ers. Number 30 in the Bill and Jalen 2013 NBA preview. Stay tuned for number 29. I think I just tipped off what it was, but come back for that anyway.
Subscribe. You won't regret it. Actually, maybe you will. Then you'll unsubscribe. No biggie. Click subscribe. You look hot today.